Welcome to our Tech. Today we'll be going over how to set up and configure the Vieo display for the Garmin core system. So the Garmin Vieo display comes in two sizes, 8 inches and 10 inches. It's a human-machine interface that connects to the Garmin Serve display via a wireless connection, and it can replicate the user interface that is displayed on the Serve display. So in essence, you can be using the Vieo display, which is a tablet, as a Serve display, it possessing the same kind of functionality. To set up the Vieo display for the first time, you want to make sure that the unit itself is charged. Once it's fully charged and powered on, it will bring you through a setup wizard with some instructions and questions regarding the specifications of the system that it's being attached to. Once you're through that setup wizard, it will bring you to this home screen here. So once you arrive at the home screen, what we'll do is select this 6-button menu here, and then we'll find in Tools, at the bottom of this app grid, there's Settings. We're going to connect to the wireless access point that is being broadcast by the Serve display that is connected in the Garmin core system. That Serve display is broadcasting a wireless access point that has a name that is set up when you set up your Serve display for the first time, and a password that is also set up within the Serve display for the first time. So to connect to that wireless access point, we'll select Wi-Fi. On the Vieo display, we'll enable it by toggling it on, and then within the listed networks, we'll find the Serve wireless access point, which for this instance is named. And then you're prompted with a password box, which this password so you'll know the device is connected to the Serve display when it's listed here as connected. For this instance, it's also listed as having no internet, and that's because the Serve display is not connected to a Wi-Fi network that is providing internet. If the Serve display was connected to a Wi-Fi network that was providing internet, it would be able to share that Wi-Fi network with a connected device like the Vieo display. Because it's not, it'll say no internet, and then in the right-hand corner, that Wi-Fi symbol will be full, but we'll have an exclamation point there. So we're connected to the wireless access point that's being broadcast by the Serve display. Once connected, we're gonna go back. We're gonna be back at the settings menu here, where we'll select vehicle integration. Once vehicle integration is selected, you're presented with a very limited menu. We need to access the installer settings menu, which is a secret menu that is accessed by either pressing the connection button several times repetitively until a dialog box appears that warns you're accessing those settings. The other way to access those settings is if you repeatedly tap connection and that dialog box does not appear. You would take 2 fingers and there's an invisible button, and you would hold down for 30 seconds. So for this Vieo display, we're gonna access those secret settings by tapping the connection button. And once it's tapped, the amount of times necessary, this box will appear. We'll select OK. And now we're brought to the secret submenu for the installer settings. What we need to do is select RV controls and then launch RV controls. So because the Vieo display is connected to the Serve display's wireless access point, it can access the same applications that the Serve display is hosting. So the RTEC and switching settings applications can be enabled through RV controls on the Vieo display. That is with the filters column on the right having Empire Bus checked, which is done by default. So we'll select enabled for the switching settings and enabled for the RTEC app. Press done, and it'll bring you to that RV controls app grid where now both of those applications are accessible and can be selected. In this way, the Vieo display will now have the same kind of functionality that you would expect to see on a Serve display. Thanks for joining me today as I walked you through how to set up the Vieo display with the Garmin core system for the first time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our staff, and as always, any relevant links will be in the description below.